I want to finish with a story. Some of you might know the book Orthodox Heretic. It's a great book written by a guy called Pete Rollins. He's an Irish guy who writes modern day parables. Really worth checking out. You can actually download his audio ones off his website for free. I want to tell you one of these parables. So in a world where following Christ is an illegal activity, you have been accused of being a believer. You've been arrested and dragged into court. You've been under clandestine surveillance for some time, and a bulk of evidence has been gathered against you. There are dozens of photos showing you attending church, worship services, and speaking at these services. There's a selection of items confiscated from your home, worship CDs, books, and other Christian artifacts. There's a display of journal entries where you've written poems and prose about your faith. And finally, the prosecutor offers your Bible to the judge. This is a well-worn book with many scribbles, notes, highlights in the margins. You know that with the evidence there, you are surely facing prosecution and probably imprisonment. Terrified that you will deny the charges, you do not speak, but like Christ, you remain silent before your accusers. After being made to wait outside while the judge deliberates, eventually you're led back into the courtroom to hear the verdict. Of the charges brought forward, I find the accused not guilty. Suddenly your terror is gone, and you are angry. What? In light of all the evidence, how am I innocent? You say. What evidence? Says the judge, surprised. The poems, the prose, the sermons, all those worship services I've attended, all those long nights of prayer meetings. No, says the judge, this is not real evidence. This court is not concerned with those who spend their time only creating pictures of a better world with their words. We are only interested in those who would lay down their pens and their lives and actually create that better world. So until you live as Christ and his followers did, until you die to yourself, until then, you're no threat to us. I really like that story. It really hit me. It made me really think about my faith and how much of it is actually action. Our faith is, a real thing to us, and it is important. But belief is not enough. Jesus' last words, the most important thing he had to say to his followers was about sacrificial action. He didn't say love one another and then leave it there. He said love one another, and he washed their feet. So this was action, not just sentiment. So what's the invitation here for us? Maybe, like me, you're in a place where you haven't really experienced God's love. I don't think we can engage in sacrificial loving action, really, until we experience it ourselves. Maybe you have before, but you just need, again, to be invited to sit under the gaze of God's love again, and not do, but to just be. So I invite you to do that this morning, to come forward for prayer and sit under God's gaze and be prayed for to experience God's love. It's not something that happens overnight. For me, it was a journey of many, many months and years. So don't be surprised if, you don't have an amazing experience of love. Sometimes people do. But I think talking with someone about that and going on a journey with someone you can regularly have a conversation with is the best thing you can do. So that's number one. Maybe you feel a niggle that you're not really living out your faith. I know for me this is a challenge. I think a lot of the time I spend a lot of time thinking about it and writing about it and talking about it, but how much do I actually do?